YouTube, what's going on? How you guys doing? Meet Blaze. What's up, guy? I know I'm gonna have to get him some better shots so y'all can get a better look at him. I know the lighting is not great. What's up, big guy? He's a hefty guy. This video here I'm gonna go ahead and do just kind of overview of my bioactive setup, as well as kind of the initial cost that it cost to set up and everything. He gave me a little scare a couple this week. What you doing, man? But he's looking great right now, so I feel a little better. Yeah, man, hopefully y'all got a good look at him. Ball python lesser. He's definitely been growing. Big guy. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So I start off with, let me talk about why I chose bioactive. The thought of not having to do as much. Come on, bro, let me go. So the thought of not having to do as much when it came to cleaning up the tank, and I just kind of wanted to have something that was kind of his own ecosystem and kind of operated on his own, and that's what kind of made me decide to go with the bioactive enclosure. I start out, hey man, when you do that, boy, you tickle me, boy. With the enclosure that I actually have, the enclosure is an Exotera 36 by 18 by 12. I'll say this enclosure is an expensive enclosure. I mean, to each his own, but in my opinion, it's an expensive enclosure. Do some research. I was able to find mines on Facebook Marketplace for about 180 bucks. So it was a win there. I know sometimes it's a little worrisome to kind of buy things off of marketplaces because you worry about how well it's taken care of. Examine the thing when you get it. You know, look at it, and then also whenever you do purchase anything from anybody that you're gonna possibly keep a pet in, you want to make sure that you do give it a good clean once you do get it. Anybody that's looking for an enclosure, and also you want to think about this as well. When getting an enclosure, I didn't want to get an enclosure. What you doing? I didn't want to get an enclosure to where in a couple months or 6 months or so, even a year, that I was going to have to upgrade and then figure out what to do with the old tank and find space for the new one and then get the new one all set up. I kind of felt like I would want to not say get him in his forever home, but something that's going to be there next to forever, kind of, if that makes sense. Through the research that I kind of looked up, you would want, you know, the connecting sides, so this long way and then that side, to not equal the same length of him, so he can't even stretch out straight across like this. So we're pretty good there and probably be pretty good for a while. And then given the fact that males don't grow as large as females, I think it's a possible chance at being his forever home, but we'll see. He's getting pretty big pretty fast, and then that is a credit to his feeding. So I do have him on a feeding schedule once a week, but last week he had a big meal, and he usually eats weaned rats. I'm getting off topic a little bit. So that's about it for the enclosure. Going from there, I actually have these thermostat controllers with the prongs on them. I got a little clip I'll show you guys there. I have 3 of those. and those are connected running. It's running my heat mat on this side here on the hot side. The 2 heat lamps that are non-light. What you doing? They don't emit any light, it's just heat. And then I also have up here on the top this little light fixture that I got from Home Depot. That one there, what I did, I kind of rigged that. So it came with these 2 kind of, I don't know, like little wires that you can hang. So what I actually did was I purchased a thing of bungee cords, and I actually took a bungee cord to connect it to the connectors, and it kind of made it like a bow and arrow, and I just hung it across this little fixture that I got here. Everything that I can put a link for, I'll put it in the description, so that way you guys will be able to purchase things that you want. This whole little setup thing, I had issues with how I was gonna hang it. I was trying to hang something from the ceiling, and it just kind of looked tacky and just like a sore thumb kind of. I came across the dual light stand. Actually, see if I can show a picture of it, but the link for that will be in the description as well. That came through in the clutch, because as you can see, it gives me a chance to hold both lights over each side, as well as hang this light fixture over to give the plants light. I also have 2 reptile hides. Now these, you know, if you do your research, you'll see everywhere where you can probably just go to the dollar store or get just about anything and kind of turn it into a hide for them. What I would add, if you can see what I did to mine, I'll actually show you a close-up. I took silicone and smeared it all over the hide. Took some soil, smeared it all over that, and let it sit for probably about 24 hours. And that actually gave us the look that we have here. I thought that kind of made it look a little better than just having the little black plastic sitting in there. Especially with it being a bioactive enclosure, I kind of wanted everything to have that full nature look. I have a set, not a set, but my tongs that I use to feed with, extra long. Like, get an idea of how long this thing is. And it's just me being cautious of not wanting to be bitten or anything. He hasn't bitten me yet. Only one day he was a little snappy when I came and I opened his enclosure, and he just was just snappy a little bit. But I realized the night before when I fed him, the box that the rat was in, I actually left it right here on the side. So I kind of fault myself for that and kind of credit that to a rat scent kind of being around. So he probably thought it was feeding time. But after that, I learned not to do that anymore, and we haven't had that problem anymore. I also have 2 thermostats, the hygrometers that shows the temperature as well as humidity. Got one on each side. Then I also have my heat gun. There you go. Got it from Home Depot. I don't remember how much, probably like maybe say $10 to maybe $20 at the most. I don't even want to say 20, I'm stretching it. So maybe like 15 at the most for that one at least. I'm pretty sure they got more that's probably more expensive, but I just got one that was a reasonable price. It works, it does the job. That also goes back to I have the prongs for the thermostats controllers set up on the sides, but what I do, I set those off, and what I do is I set the temperatures here according to, how do I want to put this? So I read my heat in the area by pointing my temp gun. When my temp gun say here, I want it to read at about 90. when my temp gun hits here and reads at about 90, the prong here has this reading at about 88, 87-ish. So that's what I have that set at. But I always go off of what the gun is reading back to me. What's up, bro? You alright? Then I'll move on to the backdrop. So the backdrop, a DIY. I thought it was a little challenging at first, but it wasn't nothing to it but to kind of take the steps in time and go ahead and get it done. I got a couple clips that I had when I did do it. So I kind of insert those here. So that way you guys can kind of see the process of that. As you see, for the backdrop, I have pieces of bark just kind of placed in different spots, kind of set it up the way that you want to. Then you'll fill it in with the expanding foam. Let that sit for a little bit, well, not a little bit, like 24 hours or so. Come back the next day, then carve everything out the way that you want it to be carved out. I took a vacuum to get all of that stuff out. Then you go ahead and take the silicone, smear that over it. All of this expanding foam and just all areas that you kind of want to cover with dirt. Then let that sit there for another 24 hours. Then you'll be able to go ahead and vacuum all the excess out, and then your backdrop should look something like this. So moving on, going to the substrate that I have. There's some soil in there. I don't know exactly what soil that I use, but there's soil, and then there's some, I believe it's forest floor bedding that I have in there. It's supposed to, it was recommended at the pet store, but it's supposed to hold humidity pretty good, especially with the bioactive enclosures. So that's what I went with, and so far so good. I mean, other than me panicking and just kind of getting through everything day by day, he seems great and everything seems to be holding up. So I don't have any complaints as far as the substrate. If there's a different substrate that I may be able to go with that you guys may feel like may work better than what I have, comment below and let me know. I also have, other than just the substrate down there, spangle moss just kind of scattered in there, some back there, and then I also silicone some onto the backdrop as well, and that's, hopefully you get a good glimpse at it. I want to apologize for the lighting. I'll probably post a picture of it, but the link for this will be in the description. I think I got this, no, I bought this from the pet store, but if I find it, I'll put a link of it in the description. There's pretty sure they got it at Amazon. And then leaf litter. Is it oak leaf? No, this one isn't oak leaf, but this is just leaf litter that I got Amazon as well. Also, going on with the bedding that I have in here, we have a cleanup crew of springtails and isopods. I believe I have some, please forgive me if I'm wrong, I think they're called cow isopods. That's what I actually started with, and then like maybe a week or so after, I went ahead and got the springtail. Just from doing research, someone told me to just go ahead and do the isopods, and then just after researching, it didn't seem like it hurt to have the springtails as well, so I got those as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the cleanup crew. I still have a little problem, like whenever I'm cleaning up his waste and everything, with leaving it in there for the cleanup crew to kind of do their job. I don't know if, it's not that I don't have faith in them, I just think that it looks like it's something that is going to take them a long time to break down, and it may accumulate as well as gain an odor. I don't know if somebody has any information they can clear my mind up on it and give me a little bit of knowledge. please comment down below. It'll be greatly appreciated. For the plants that we have in here, I'm not gonna try and butcher the names. I know snake plant. But what I'm gonna do, I'll just post the names, give you a good shot of all the plants that I do have in here. So far, for everything that I did have in here when I started, other than the snake plant going bad right now, there's only one plant that didn't make it. The pothos. I said I wasn't gonna try to butcher any names, but I think I got that right. That's the only one I actually didn't have it in there. I bought it to put in there, then it felt like it was too much. So what I did was cut 2 pieces and just planted them in there, and we actually got little offspring starting to sprout up as well. And I think that's pretty good. Once those start to grow, and it'll be nice. Those little sprouts from the snake plant, I'll show y'all those as well. Somebody inform me, are they gonna actually grow, or should I dig it up and get rid of it? So yeah, that's pretty much it for the plants and everything. And then I'm sorry that I didn't give all prices as I was going through everything, but last but not least, it was Blaze. So that's my complete setup of my bioactive enclosure. And then Blaze was probably about, what was Blaze? 140, I believe. 140 bucks. Beautiful snake. He's a lesser. He's about 4 months old. So thanks for checking out my video. Leave comments, please, if you got any advice, anything that it looks like I'm doing wrong. If you got any questions of how I did anything, or something that you're looking to do, just ask, and I'll get back to everybody in the comments. Be on the lookout for the next video. It's gonna actually be a video of the scare that he gave me this week. We'll get a weigh in on that video there. Until next time, get a good view in there. So curious. So curious. Alright, y'all. Just Blaze.